top right of our map, defending champion.
KT roster Zest, 주성우.
Not looking so angry today as he normally does. His opponent to the top left for MVP. And the orange here it is.
MVP tail, 김원형.
I think definitely going to see Stargate play out of both players. Blink is not that great on the map because there's not a whole lot of area to blink up into. So if you get to that weird situation where your blink attack didn't do critical damage and you're trying to transition and do backstab attacks, harass that way, you don't have a lot of opportunity there.
I do agree with that. I don't really care for it that much on this map, but see what these guys end up going for. You know, if you know your opponent's going to go Stargate and, like, for instance, going to Phoenix's opening blink, you definitely can attempt to punish something like that. But we'll see what type of mind games do go down, because a lot of times that is what PvP is all about.
Yeah. I think Oracle is pretty much out of the question on this map. Whenever I see that, I get a bit baffled, because if you go Oracle on this map, you're saying to yourself, you think they're going to be doing some sort of aggressive ground-based play probably, which is not too common on the map. But Stargate is so common that you could just get blind countered by Phoenix and lose the game.
Yeah, yeah, it's of course not always the case. I don't know if that screen went out for you guys as well. Sorry.
Did it go out for you on your side as well?
No, it didn't, but I think I don't know which one is the actual feed.
One of my monitors popped out for a second, but yeah.
Anyways.
This, I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah.
So
all right, so Stargate.
Yeah, both going Stargate as expected.
Yeah, no big surprise here. We'll see if one of them tries for an Oracle, though.
If one of them makes a mistake of trying to go Oracle.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think it'll happen because he scouts here. They both scout, in fact, so it's going to be Phoenix's absolutely. We may have a mini Phoenix war here.
If you both see that, like, the only other thing that can happen is a cancel into Twilight, but on this map, I think you probably just keep going for it. If anyone cancels, it would be Tails.
Well, I don't think they'll cancel the Stargate necessarily, but he keeps checking, actually, for that reason, Zest does. He's like, you could cancel this, but sometimes we see players switch out of Phoenixes a little bit faster and try to go that Twilight path.
If Tails goes into Stargate, if he doesn't cancel, and he does, okay, I was going to say, if he doesn't cancel, he has to stay on Phoenixes, because you will not be able to convince me that he can transition out and Zest won't kill him. Zest will just play an almost perfect game and kill him. So he cancels. I am not surprised about this. He knows that in this, like, heads up, same tech against Zest, there's a reason why he's a champion. You're not, Tails.
Well, I mean, he's supply blocked right now.
Wow.
For a long time. His forward pylon is the pylon he uses to break that. Gates can't hit his timing properly because of that supply block, and
he's going to be like one stalker short of what he could have been.
And actually, after the Stargate cancel is seen by Zest, he goes into an Oracle because he knows there's no Phoenix to stop that, and he's going to be aggressive across the map. So it's the same principle as Game 1, that Oracle with the ability to come back in and kill probes and maybe force you to turn around.
And it looks like Tails, because, you know, he did get supply blocked and things didn't maybe turn out like he wanted. He's actually gone for a Nexus, and this definitely is the right choice here. He wasn't really going to get anything done by a late Stalker Warp Gate rush, you know?
Well, he certainly fooled Zest a little bit. He's playing defensively here, getting a Void Ray, and going into that Oracle. The Oracle now going for harassment, but there's still a lot of Stalkers up here at the front. Well, and there's nothing at home here for Tails. He just warped in his Stalkers.
He's in a little bit of trouble there for sure. Now, we are going to see this Nexus cannon go down. That is a great lift right there. See if he can maybe kill the Stalker off. I believe he will be able to. And we actually had the Nexus canceled. Look at that. So we could do a more powerful rush.
Doesn't have Warpins, though. He's about to. K decides to commit heavily to the front. Well, there's a Void Ray out here. 6 Stalkers against 1 Stalker, 1 Void Ray, and a Phoenix is basically how it's going to go here. But he's got time to get a second Void Ray out.
He's going to be fine, I would say. Like, the economy has been so disrupted for Tails, he can't hit constant warp-ins here. And in fact, if he doesn't warp in at home, he's just going to lose all of his probes. So what is he going to do? Is he going to warp in 3 more Stalkers and just hope that he can kill his opponent with a total of 9 Stalkers? Because, like, that's what it's coming down to, right?
He can't even afford 3 more Stalkers. Warps in Sentries here.
Man. Well, the Sentries will get some things done, I guess.
He just doesn't have enough anti-air for the Void Ray.
Yeah, I believe so, but he's killed quite a few probes, which is pretty nice. Oh, that was a great force field, though, and this is basically it. The game is over.
He's got no way to transition out of this.
Now, this was a very one-sided series. Zest definitely showing that he's a superior player, but I feel like this series has done a lot for me to be able to explain, like, a concept of StarCraft II. And, like, for instance, especially, like, with me, I've always been pretty vocal about, you know, cheesers versus macro players, and why cheese is not like as good a thing to do or as good a thing to practice all the time. And I think that this like really shows it. If you're like a player based more heavily on cheese, such as Tails is someone that's based really heavily on trying to be aggressive with your opponent. You know, when you get up to the top, there's going to be players like Zest that come out, and finally, like someone like Zest exists who can play. He basically played that perfectly, right? Like both games, he basically did every single thing he needed to do. He knew what he had to do. He executed them correctly, and he crushed Tails and made Tails look like really bad in comparison to him because he's so good at that standard strong play with the right transitions, understanding what to do at all moments. So, you know, I feel like that series really underlines that concept of why macro play overall is absolutely the best play for you to practice if you want to be good at this game.
Yeah, I agree with you on that, man. And just the decisions we saw where he scouted again with his first Phoenix just to make sure, because he knows one Phoenix versus
the
one
Oracle.
Phoenix. He knows at that moment if he sends it over, he still has a Phoenix. Okay, I'm going to commit to Phoenix because we're doing a Phoenix battle. You cancel, you have 3 gateways. Okay, you're probably attacking me. I make an Oracle here, and I can harass you. So really covering all his bases there. Like it a lot.
I think it was fantastic play. I'm just, you can't not be in love with Zest's PvP. It's just, the guy is just too amazing at the matchup. He just always knows what to do. It's awesome. I'm actually eventually going to sit down and watch 20 Zest PvPs in a row and just make like, you know, those idea trees or whatever.
Yeah.
Just like counter trees.
Flow chart.
Like a flow chart of exactly how to play the matchup perfectly. Because he's that good.
Well, he certainly is, man. But before we go into Dark versus Byung, Zerg versus Terran, we are going to take a 5-minute break, so stay tuned.